Hello, we're often asked the different printing options when it comes to corrugated packaging. Thought that it would be a great idea to make this video and walk through the three main options and show examples of each. The first option and the least expensive option long term is direct printing onto the corrugated. In this process, we're actually taking ink and applying it directly to the corrugated paper. It does end up having a little bit more of kind of like a washed out look. You can see here, this one's black. It's direct printed all over this box here. It looks great, but it just does have like a slightly duller look because the actual corrugated material is absorbing some of that ink. This is another option as if you print color on it. We did not actually manufacture this one, but I thought it was a great example just to show that you can get pretty detailed with the direct printing, and it looks pretty nice. You can also do a lot of different colors. This one was directly printed onto a white corrugated substrate. So I'd say the most common thing though is just printing like a logo or small imagery onto craft corrugated to help with branding, and it doesn't add a ton of cost to it. So that is option number one, direct printing. The least expensive, but it does require some startup costs, some printing plates and things like that. The next option is still directly printing onto the corrugated, but this is using a digital printing process. When you look at these, you can tell compared to the direct print, it does almost have almost like a sheen, a gloss to it. And this is actually done in a process that's similar to your at-home printer, where the machining equipment that's actually printing on here is mixing the colors and doing it in a digital process as opposed to the direct, which I almost describe as more of like a really high-end stamp process. So here we're doing it line by line and printing images, things like that. It's a slower process, so it is more expensive, but it's also really cool because you can direct print images and there's no plates or startup costs, anything like that. So it's a great fit for low to medium volume, or if you have a bunch of different print versions and don't want to pay for print plates, like if it's just going to be a one-time order or something like that. So this would be your digital printing option. The third option, and another very common one, is to do what is a litho label corrugated. So in this process, we're actually printing a piece of paper, then we laminate that. We call it a label or a wrap. We actually take that and we laminate that to the outside of the corrugated, and then the machine cuts the corrugated. So we're able to get some really nice high-end graphics like this. Pictures, images, everything, but it is a little bit more expensive because there's multiple processes. We have to set up the print machine, which is like traditional commercial printing. Then it needs to be applied to the corrugated, and then we go through the standard manufacturing processes. So it is a little bit different. It is a little bit more expensive. I wouldn't say it's as expensive as digital, but it does depend on the quantities. The other cool thing with this is you're able to do some cool print finishes and embellishments, so you can add some of the really cool stuff like UV, foil stamping, raised UV, and things like that to the actual wrap or label before you apply it to the corrugated. Here's another example. This one's on the outside it's just the black, and then on the inside it's got this for the litho label, so that's pretty cool. A couple bonus things here that I thought I'd show. This here is direct printed, but if you look at it compared to the litho label, it does seem very similar. So what we can do is use a special printing equipment, and we can directly print on corrugated in some instances, but we have to use specialty paper. And this tends to be, again, a little bit more expensive because we need like different types of print plates and things like that. But there are options to direct print and still have a little bit higher end graphics. We could not do a colored image of like a piece of food or anything on this technology still. There are some limitations, but we can improve the crispness and the color on direct print corrugated. And again, this is the direct print. Digital. And then litho label.